Okay, so I'm here right now with Wende Zomnir, founding partner of Urban Decay, to talk about the new Prince collaboration. And just, Wende, since I can read all about you, but you have no idea who I am, I just want to give you a little brief. 3 weeks ago, I was at Paisley Park
Wow.
doing my bucket list, going to see the whole Prince Minneapolis experience. I took the 3-hour tour. I went and found every mural. I purified myself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka. I did the whole thing.
Wow. You are a devoted fan.
It's a little ridiculous, really. But the fun part is when you guys made the announcement that you were going to be doing this, Prince line, I got emails, text messages, Facebook messages from literally everyone who knows me and listens to the show because they know I'm such a fan. They're like, have you seen this? Have you seen this? And I'm like, obviously I've seen it.
Right.
So I guess my first question to you is how does this collaboration come about?
So collaborations like this come about. Well, one, I'm not as passionate as
That's
you,
okay.
but I'm a huge Prince fan. It meant so much to me growing up. And most of the awesome memories I have with my sister have something to do with Prince music.
Oh, I love that.
And so I actually sent her one of our collections, and it was just, she was so thrilled to get it because it brought back a lot of memories for her too. And, you know, her name's Nikki. So we always think darling Nikki. My name's Wende and Lisa. So anyway, we just have a lot of memories around Prince, and a lot of the music meant a lot to us at that time in our lives. It was really struck very, very deeply with us. And we also were young women who loved makeup. We loved being creative. We loved dressing, and Prince was just emboldening us the whole way. So it comes about because there's passion, right? But there's also, when you're in the brand space, you get the opportunity, and you'll hear little chirps out in the in the marketing sphere about different opportunities. And I had just heard a little chirp about maybe the Prince estate would be, maybe do a collab. And I thought, well, if they're doing a collab with anyone, it's going to be with me. So we went out and really pursued it. And I think it was a little premature. And so it took a while, for it to come about. But I just kept believing in it and believing in it and believing it was going to happen. And finally, we were able to work with the estate and negotiate a deal and come up with this amazing collaboration that I think I actually, would love to believe that Prince would have loved this idea. Right. I think knowing that my makeup line, it's purple. It was so inspired by so much of his creativity in so many ways. And now that it's come full circle, I love the idea that maybe even if he was still with us, he still would have done it anyway.
Yeah, I feel like he was a great big sharer. One of the things I learned when I was at Paisley Park is that when he would invite people there to do a concert, which he did all the time, he'd just be like, hey, anybody want to come over? And literally the gates would open and they'd come in. And then he would make everybody pancakes. He loved sharing with people. He loved it. And so not only did you work with the estate, but you worked with a couple of key members of his camp. You worked with Trevor Guy, who was his muse, close friend, and Damian Lewis, and the photographer Randy St. Nichols. How did they help you in terms of creating what you created?
Well, I think they all brought his perspective as someone who was really close to him, like as someone who's a fan, who stands, arm's length away and just admires their creativity. You can interpret what you think all day long, but unless you're a person that's close to that person, close to him, I don't know that we really could have done the interpretation exactly the way Prince would have wanted, even though we're super fans, right? And we think we know. It's just like anyone who, we get a lot of oh, wouldn't this be a cute palette idea for Urban Decay? And I'm like, yeah, maybe, it's a nice try. It's very sweet. I love that you're so passionate. There's one girl, this girl Doodles by the Bunny. She nails it every time, though, I have to say, on Instagram. But there's some people like, and I just didn't want it to be, I didn't want it to be fans creating what they thought would be. I wanted it to be real. And so I think being able to have those collaborators like Randy and Trevor, it really does help make it more authentic. And so therefore it's really hopefully what the Prince fan is going to want to get, because they're going to want the makeup interpretation of Prince, right? Not
What I think the makeup interpretation of
right.
Prince would be.
Exactly.
You
So I'm
think
trying to, I think it's good for, you have to, when you're approaching a collaboration with an artist of that level, you have to have real humility and really listen to those people that really knew him.
Did they tell you any good stories that you wanted to share with me?
Oh, I wish.
So I think that maybe the hardest part of all of this, and again, this is going to go back to when I was at Paisley Park, my tour. So the last tour he did was piano and a microphone. And he had a piano that he wanted painted a very certain color purple. So much to the point that when it came, he sent it back. So
Wow.
I feel like coming up with the colors had to be, I don't know if stressful is the right word, but you wanted to make sure that that palette was there. So how, when you came to the purples in the palette,
Yeah.
were you like, I think maybe this color?
Yeah. So I think there's a couple things. Well, I one thing I can tell you is that I am an expert on purple.
Okay.
So I am. I mean, Urban Decay's purple. We have a lot of different purples in our palette. I did look at the album cover of Purple Rain.
Yeah.
And in that fog, there are many different kinds of purple. So if you look even behind you, there's a bluey purple, more indigo purple. There's a very red violet. So for me, it was really about capturing that whole spectrum of purples. And so, and then also if you look at the other thing we really looked at, and I had fun, one of my team brought this to us. She pulled out all his guitars. Just photos of all of his guitars. And I have to tell you, so inspirational for the shade selection to go, he had a gold guitar. Yeah. And he had a purple guitar that was more indigo, and he had a purple guitar that was more purple, and he had he just had
white guitar, yellow guitar, he had them all.
He had them all. And so the guitars were very inspirational in addition to the very obvious Purple Rain album cover. I mean, the big box is
it is stunning. Right? The packaging is out of this world. Like,
yeah.
You took attention to every single detail.
I know. And I have to tell you, there's someone on my team, and she worked so hard to make this happen.
It's beautiful.
In the way it looks. I mean, it was.
It shows through on the palettes too. Like, it's
all of it. She, I just am so, her name's Kiani, and I'm so proud of her for just really making this.
It really makes it next level,
It is. She really worked hard to make that happen, because it wasn't cheap. I'm just saying. So there's the two palettes. There's more of the, the gold and black palette type of interpretation, with of course still purple in there, but the gold and black vibe. And then there's the purple palette, which
all named after songs, which I think is so cool.
Named after songs. And I think the other thing that's cool about this is it really is, you can do a lot with this palette. So I do love that. And then there's these, these are so great. These kohl eyeliners that you can use. I mean, look at that giant pencil. I mean, you can just get great lines with this. And I always say you can also roll your hair up and
I love something with multi-purpose.
Right. So you've got two of these. There's a white kohl as well.
Right.
Or kajal, however you want to say it. I like just kohl. But yeah, you could do the little sticks in your hair. And then this is one of my favorite all-time Urban Decay products. This is our all-nighter powder, and it is amazing because it's actually waterproof and it doesn't build up if you get a little shiny. So this powder, it's a universal shade. I love it for this collection because it's a great product, and two, you would wear, if you were going to be on stage sweating, this is the powder you'd want to have. So, and we all know he went at it when he was on stage.
At it. There was
and then we've got this awesome brush that you fill the little well with the highlighter, and then you
Oh,
can highlight anywhere on the body.
oh,
So
this afternoon when I was at work, it was on my desk, and I emailed and I'm like, I'm having an out of body experience right now because I wasn't
oh,
expecting it. And so it's a wonderful gift. So thank you all for sending it to me. And I
of
can't wait
course.
to experiment with it and live my best purple life.
Right.
So Wendy, I just want to thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy day to spend time with me here in Boston. This is amazing, and I can't wait to try out everything, and I'll share it with all my listeners as well. And I just wish you the best of success with this, and I know Prince would be proud.
Well, thank you. And I hope you enjoy your collection
I shall.
and you get